Winner of the Lee Kuan Yew Gold Medal, the Joanna Wong Gold Medal, the Shell History Medal, the Wong Lin Ken Memorial Medal and Book Prize, and Journal of Southeast Asian Studies Book Prize, Tai Jing Yi Ji. Go Hui Shao. Graduating with a degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours.
Photograph, yeah.
She's the winner of the Lee Kuan Yew Gold Medal, the Joanna Wong Gold Medal, the Shell History Medal, the Wong Lin Ken Memorial Medal and Book Prize, and the Journal of Southeast Asian Studies Book Prize. She will now deliver her speech.
NUS Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Jeanne Tai, Ms. Claire Chiang, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Standing before all of you today, I must say that it is an honor and privilege, but also a very nerve-wracking experience to speak as valedictorian. There are many emotions I could use to describe this moment now. Happiness, to be graduating with such a distinguished cohort, among whom are some of my dearest friends. Pride, to be able to finally hold my hard-earned degree scroll. And of course, satisfaction at having finally completed the marathon that is NUS. But positive sentiments aside, I wish to address a feeling that is less commonly associated with such a celebratory event, but which I feel is no less relevant: fear. The end of our university days is somewhat paradoxically termed a commencement. Now, people have explained this contradiction by saying that a graduation marks the start, or commencement, of a fresh chapter in our lives. However, I dare say that some of us graduates are not too optimistic about this so-called new beginning. Recent get-togethers with my friends saw us reminiscing about our carefree student life, when we didn't have to worry about things like looking for a job or answering to demanding supervisors at work. It would seem that we are less hopeful about the future and more inclined to retreat into rosy memories of the past. Now, I think what underlies these conversations is a fear of the unknown future, the fear of being uprooted from the familiarity of student life, the fear of having to compete with thousands of other fresh graduates for jobs, the fear of what life without organized class schedules will be like. For many of us, this transition between school and the proverbial real world can be unsettling. On more than one occasion, I have heard friends confess, horrors of horrors, that they do not want to graduate. But what we often forget is how our time in school had its own share of trying moments. While it is easy to recall the cheerful times spent with friends, we often neglect the less savory parts of student life. But I think it is worth revisiting these moments every now and then. The first week of school, for instance, when many of us fumbled to get our bearings, feeling lost in lectures. For some of us unlucky ones, there were moments when our laptops failed us, causing us to lose unfinished assignments and weeks of hard work. Others will recall those lonely nights when we worked tirelessly on the second or third drafts of our dissertations, anxious about what our supervisors would say the next morning. And then there were also times when the daily demands of being a student were compounded by other issues in our personal lives. Juggling work commitments, for instance, or dealing with a chronic illness. I know many who experienced the stress of a long-distance relationship or had to nurse a painful breakup in the midst of exams. Some even had to deal with a death in the family. I'm sure we can all recall various low points in our lives. For myself, my final semester was an especially trying one. Besides working on my thesis, I had to manage the demands of an internship, while also embarking on the much-dreaded job hunt. For weeks, I sent out resumes, attended interviews, and waited to hear back from prospective employers, sometimes in vain. Many times, I experienced fear of not living up to the expectations of those around me and myself. And I'm sure many of us have had similar feelings of insecurity at some point in our lives. I don't need to dredge up awful memories at what should be a joyful occasion, and rightfully so. But just as we should cherish the happy times of university life, I think it's equally important to remember our vulnerable moments, because it was precisely during those times that we were tested mentally, emotionally, and even physically. And more often than not, it was through such challenges that we made surprising discoveries about ourselves. We discovered, for instance, our capacity for endurance and tenacity. We uncovered hidden strength and determination. We learned to deal with rejection and setbacks. And above all, we mustered the courage to pick ourselves up and to move on. While I still consider my final semester to be one of the most challenging periods of my student life, I would say it was also, in retrospect, the most rewarding, because there is an added sense of pride to know that I made it through this period, despite of the odds. And looking at all of us graduates seated here tonight, I dare say we have done very well for ourselves, despite whatever obstacles we have had to face in the process of getting here. And so, for all those who are uncertain about what the next few months might bring, I can only tell you honestly that I do not know either. But in moments when you are afraid or unsure of yourselves, may I suggest you look back at your time in NUS, not simply at the happier moments, but at your most difficult periods, when you were at your lowest and most fearful. Look back at those times when you thought you would never make it, but somehow miraculously did. And learn to celebrate them as part of a total experience that has made you the wiser, stronger, and more confident person that you are today. Above all, be comforted in the knowledge that as you make your way into the future, into the great unknown, the same qualities which helped you survive and succeed during your most trying moments in university will always sustain you. Thank you very much.
Well done, Jeanne. Well done. Jeanne's valedictorian speech, 7th of July, 2010.
I declare this commencement ceremony closed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
As we remain standing, my fellow graduates, this is a proud day for all of us and for our parents and loved ones who have supported us in our journey here. Therefore, before we leave this hall, let us take this opportunity to show our appreciation for our family and friends with a round of applause. Please join me in this gesture.
Congratulations, class of 2010.
Wow. Okay, that's it for now.